Welcome everyone to day 2 of Couchbase Connect 16. Please welcome to the stage Couchbase Chief Marketing Officer, Peter Finter.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to day 2 of Couchbase Connect 16. And for all of those of you watching online, nearly 3,000 joined us yesterday on our live stream, so welcome to you too. And if this is your very first day here at Couchbase Connect, a big welcome to you. Thank you for joining us for this keynote session. I promise you it will be an exciting session, as if yesterday was not exciting enough. Let's recap day 1 for a second, shall we? Unprecedented events, check. Unanticipated requirements, check. Solving real-world problems in real time, check. And that was just the demo. Wasn't that a great demo yesterday? It really was, wasn't it? Fantastic. Who wants to see it again? Yes? Check out the live stream. It's archived. You'll be getting a notification. You're welcome to watch that as often as you like. We had a fantastic day yesterday. We're going to have a fantastic day today. I want to share with you the content over the next few minutes that we'll be sharing with you. Yesterday, Bob talked about the digital economy. The digital economy is made up of digital businesses across a wide variety of verticals. And those digital businesses are driven by web, mobile, and IoT applications. Today, we've asked 3 speakers to come and share their vision and their experience to date in these 3 significant areas. We're going to start with Amadeus, the world's largest global distribution system. They're building apps at web scale. You're going to hear about over 1.6 billion requests per day being handled on their systems. You're going to hear, secondly, from Verizon. Verizon Labs ThingSpace, a leader in the IoT environment. Their IoT platform today connecting millions of devices and potentially scaling to billions. And then finally, you're going to hear from Wayne Carter, our Chief Architect of Mobile, who's going to be talking about the Couchbase data platform and the way that we've architected from the ground up a platform to support those web, mobile, and IoT applications. So without further ado, let me welcome on stage our first speaker, Dietmar Fauser, Vice President of Architecture, Quality, and Governance at Amadeus. Please give him a warm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning. I'm really glad to be here to share some of the journey we have undertaken together so far, Amadeus and Couchbase. We do lots of interesting things, and we are looking forward to extend this. So I'll try to sketch a few of these aspects out here in this talk. You can see that as a teaser, so there is also a breakout session with my colleague Paul. We will go more in details, so if there are really technical questions or any question you really have, come to the breakout session. So this talk, I'll quickly explain you what Amadeus is, what we are doing to set the scene, to talk us through two of the massive use cases we have in the usage with Couchbase. So the travel industry is a very interesting industry. It's the biggest industry we have, so it's a gigantic market. So it's a large vertical. Amadeus is the backend to very many systems. For example, if you go to Kayak or Expedia or a lot of other touch points, there is the massive search technology of Amadeus is behind. So we are powering Kayak, a very, very interesting client, believe me. Driving an extreme growth into our systems. So Mohan is talking about IoT. In our case, it's more the massive adoption of mobile usage when it comes to sophisticated searches that you can do at any point when you're dreaming about going somewhere. So the growth is super important. And we have to deal with this on a constant cost basis, as I guess you all are in similar problems. So here on this diagram, on the left-hand side, I depicted the entities we work with, and we call them supplier. So it's really our customers. We are a B2B company. So you see there are airlines, hospitality, hotels, airports are very big for us. insurance companies, cruise operators, really anyone who has something to sell in the travel industry. And on the right-hand side is the customer in the middle. So we build very customer-centric systems. And it goes really, Amadeus is offering the systems that go through the whole experience you have as a customer. So it starts with the inspirational part. That's what I just mentioned. People want to go somewhere, and they have quite fuzzy requirements, like I would like to go somewhere next year in South America where I can do scuba diving, there's kids care and things like this. A single query comes into the system. You can go travel there from multiple departure airports with multiple airlines to multiple, departure airports to multiple destination airports. And if you combine this over a calendar view or over 2 months, quickly you realize that a single query can parallelize into 10,000 individual queries, hence parallel access to the data management systems underneath. So super growth, very exciting technology. And then it goes along when you do reservations, when you do the shopping, you book finally a product, you get pre-trip informations, and then at one point in time you come to the airport or the hotel, you do the check-in, you get seated, you might get reseated if aircraft changes are happening. And then there's the post-trip aspects like possible refunds or compulsory claims or whatever might happen so that you get credited either miles or money back. So the Amadeus systems are handling all of this. We are offering solutions in all of these steps. So it's a really large system. Behind the scene, it's a very uniform set of Linux clusters. So it's essentially in C++, 5,000 plus microservices. We still have a little bit of mainframe technology, but it's fading out by the end of this year after a 10 years project. It was a bit painful, but we are there. And you can see here some of the volumes in terms of system throughput. Actually, here it's written 100 plus terabyte of compressed data logged as we speak. We are at 700 terabytes actually, and we will soon shoot the roof of a petabyte of traces and log events on a single day. So even those subsystems are in itself a technical challenge. There is a need for high consistency in our environment. So when you go and you look for a flight, the thing we really want to avoid is that when you come to the booking, that the system says, oh, no, sorry, finally this product is not available because it was served from a stale cache. So the Amadeus systems are built for consistency and real-time availability and price quotations. And we take a lot of pride in this, and Couchbase is clearly at the heart of these solutions. Underneath, a couple of the other figures, like Amadeus is close to 4 billion dollar revenue, sorry. We are 5,500 people in research and development. By all means, a significant shop. We currently board more than 100 billion passengers a year on our systems since we have acquired a Navitaire from Accenture, a low-cost reservation system. And on the lower right hand, you can see the increase of transactions that are coming in the systems for the reasons I mentioned. Mobile usage mostly is dramatic, and the cost base has to remain stable and guaranteed. This means in terms of people needed to operate the platform, in terms of memory consumption, in terms of database sizes. So the journey with Couchbase started a long time ago, a long time in IT terms. Sometimes I'm using the joke that an IT decade is actually only 3 years long because things are evolving so fast. So we are kind of having an IT decade of common history with Couchbase and Amadeus. We started back in 2013, where we started bringing it into some caching of the availability platform. And now we use it quite massively, and Couchbase, through the cross-data center replication mechanisms, is at the heart of our technical policy to do much more distributed computing than what we are currently doing. By distributed computing, I mean truly geographical, geoplexed access to our systems. And I'll come to this shortly. So on the right-hand side, this is stuff that is in production. The RBox is the distributed availability calculation. I'll have a slide on this to show this a bit in more details. So it's a well-formed, a well-running and satisfactory partnership we have with Couchbase. It's important to point this out. I believe when you engage in relatively new technology, like we did with our massive applications that are to some degree what we talk about here, truly mission critical for the end user experience, it is really important to have a true partnership because we change the systems all the time. The systems are inherently growing so fast that solutions you start with when you prototype are not at all the same once you come to production only a year or so later because the system size in the meantime has largely doubled. It's currently growing by 80 to 90% on a year-by-year basis in terms of transactional throughput and data volumes. So quite a challenge, and you need a living partnership to do this. We have similar setups with other companies, and it shows to work really nicely, and we are ready to contribute. Okay, so complexity management is something important in large IT systems. So if you look here, what technically happened in our journey here in these systems is we started with Oracle. We still use Oracle massively. But the growth of the systems was so dramatic that Oracle did simply not answer anymore the questions. It was unreasonable to go into extra large rack clusters, unreasonable from a maintenance, from a cost perspective, and also because the technology aged out a little bit, and we didn't need at the time being so complex data accesses. So the first step was to put a large sharded distributed MySQL. So MariaDB is pictured here as a front end before on top of the Oracle database to relieve the stress on Oracle. Then the next step was to add the memcached layer on top of this in 2012. A lot of us have gone the same path to accelerate the systems. And then the twist or the goal with Couchbase is to collapse these two layers, MySQL and memcached, into a single layer. Each time you can collapse layers, you take out complexity. The system is easier to maintain. It's overall cheaper, less different, and somehow divergent technology in it. So there is a lot of things to be gained. While in the meantime, the traffic has scaled up extremely massively. So Oracle is anyway not a solution anymore. And the MySQL clusters were growing also very, very heavily. And I guess all of you who have operational experience with memcached know that the complexity of managing changing topologies with memcached is something you really don't want to deal with all the time. So Couchbase came in handy and did answer this to this question: Can we collapse these layers, have something that is simpler to manage and that scales to our needs? And it does, actually. So here, how is it looking? The availability platform, you see on the upper side, that's the nodes. So we talk currently about 30,000 more or less idempotent stateless computing units. You can see them as virtual machines, actually. They access the Couchbase clusters that is currently built over 7 subfarms. It's consuming for this application roughly 100 servers, so quite big ones. And you can see on the black dots that we come currently to 10 million gets a second. We are updating in excess of 1 million writes per second. And as I said, those figures are doubling on a year-by-year basis. Everything is fully in memory. This database holds 20 billion items in memory. And it serves, as I said at the beginning, this is part of the global search engine that is powering Kayak, for example, and many other online travel agencies out there. All of our travel agency customers, actually, where guys like Hipmonk, Kayak, and those folks are really shooting the dramatic workloads into our systems. This is an interesting one here. At the beginning, I was talking about geoplexing, or however you want to call this, but the goal here is to avoid massive consumption of the network and to push the computing clusters as close as possible to the source of transactions. So rather than shooting all the transactions over the wire, rather bring the computation and the data you need as close as possible to the booking source. Here in this very case, the booking source is Google Flight Search. So parts of Google Flight Search is currently powered by the Amadeus search technology. And so how is it working? So I don't go here in the details, but you see different deployment units, one in Asia, one in Europe, one in the US East. Actually, there are now 2 in the US. Those are mapped onto Google regions. And our individual clusters where we map then our clients on airports, airlines, for example, hosted in the Americas can go rather on one. Others can go on another, which shows that the data distribution is not necessarily uniform. And we use the cross-data center replication mechanisms of Couchbase to have a single source of truth that is a central inventory management that receives the updates and that pushes in real time all the updates on a sort of a multicast type of semantics to those different computing clusters. So this happens in sub-milliseconds. So the system is globally, it's not strictly consistent, but it converges to consistent state extremely fast, so within less than a second. While in this industry, as I said at the beginning, often caches are refreshed once every 24 hours. So it's a true real-time system. It's of eventually consistent nature for those who are in distributed systems, and it perfectly fits our need. And you see that we transition here roughly currently 7 megabits per second over the wire, while if we had shoot all of the transactions and the replies of Amadeus back to the source of transactions over the wire, it would be kind of 100-fold more in terms of network consumption. So it's very economic. It's very handy, and it fits our need. And to do this, we deploy those systems using OpenShift, so Kubernetes from Google with Red Hat, and we work consistently with Couchbase to bring the stateful applications that are databases under the operational plane control from Kubernetes. That's called pet-set controls for those of you who are in this. And it's a game changer in the sense that the stateless parts are managed exactly the same way than the nodes that are doing the compute that are called minions in this parlance. So I just mentioned this, OpenShift integration and Couchbase. We are very actively working on this. So Couchbase is helping us, well, not only us, I think it's going really to the whole industry, but has acknowledged the need to bring data management solutions as a simple service into the environment. This also means, and it's very important for large shops like us, it means developer efficiency, because the goal that we have in mind, and we come close to this with these modern applications, is that you can boot what we call a virtual data center on your laptop. You know that the containers you are producing are the same than the ones that will be scheduled onto production. And so you have application containers, you have some controlling containers from the OpenShift environment themselves, plus perhaps a little bit of monitoring and logging. And then you have the database side of things. And you just describe this in a topological descriptor, and you have only to change this topology descriptor when you want to scale up on test systems or on production. So it's a matter of parameters to say I want to have 1 or 1,000 instances. It's a very simple change. All of the rest is invariant and is the same. And so the thing that we are currently working on actively is to bring the databases that we are using, so most prominently Couchbase, into this environment. And that's where we currently stand. So it's as I said at the beginning, it's a real nice collaboration. We have to be open, and in a collaborative spirit, we have a tendency to choose open source oriented partners because there's this collaboration and the open source model to approach complex solutions is, to me, the most promising one. So we stick to this, and we hope that we continue this journey successfully together. But it's a pleasure to be here. I hope you found this interesting, and please come to the breakout session if you want to see some more of the technical aspects of what we are doing. Voilà, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Dietmar, for an excellent discussion, and thank you for your partnership. We appreciate it. Give Dietmar a round of applause, please. What an excellent story that is, and what I love is the simplicity and the elegance of the architecture, and I think we resonate in terms of looking for that simpler way to solve the more complex problem. The scale of that operation is mind-blowing, isn't it? And if that is the scale that can be generated by human beings initiating queries, think about the scale associated with things and the things that are proliferating around us. We're talking about millions to billions, and I'm delighted to welcome on stage the Director of IoT Platforms from Verizon Labs, Umapathy, to help us understand a little bit about how to solve problems at that kind of scale. Please welcome Mohan.
Thank you, Peter, for the warm welcome. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that we have sensors throughout this auditorium monitoring how interested you are in this presentation. If your interest level goes down, what we are going to do is to switch the topic to how Trump presidency will impact IoT. So with that introduction, so the reason why I brought up that use case is that that is truly possible today with the technologies that we have. And we are pretty much quite there in terms of making it possible in the near future. For those of you who are watching on the live stream, if suddenly your pages you're clicking away from this presentation to something else, our network monitor is going to detect that and bring in something that is more interesting to you right there for you. So those technologies are available today from Verizon, and I'm more than happy to share with you our vision for IoT and how we can make this journey better for the society. Now, today, I briefly want to give what is IoT and what are some of the challenges involved in bringing IoT to the marketplace, as well as talk about some of the solutions Verizon has built, as well as the platform that we have built called ThingSpace that helps our customers and others to bring their products out to the market quickly. Also, go into a little bit of the technical details of the real-time data pipeline that we built for ThingSpace to solve the challenges associated with bringing the services that we have to provide to our customers, as well as talk about the benefits of Couchbase and how we took advantage of them in building our platform. Now, before we get started, what is IoT? Now, IoT promises to connect things and transform data into useful information for people, businesses, and institutions. Now, today, we have probably seen a lot of applications and connected devices that enable the connected home, the vehicle, smart cities, and transportation. Now, how do we define what is IoT and what is not? We believe in order for a solution to be considered as part of IoT, it must demonstrate 3 A's. Aware. A device must be able to sense something about its surroundings. This might be location, proximity, temperature, humidity, vibration, light levels, motion, or the mood levels of people. It could be anything that we detect. If you cannot sense something about the surroundings, then it is not IoT. The second A is autonomous. The device should be able to transfer the collected data to a processing application or a central location automatically. This can be at a set time of the day or a week or a month, or it could be based on a condition that is being met, or it could be based on a trigger that has been reached. But irrespective of the timing or the mechanism of when it is done, the data must be automatically transferred to a place where it can be processed. Without this kind of connectivity, it is not IoT. The third A is actionable. IoT is not about gathering data. It is about using it to make better decisions. That's the value in IoT. Regardless of whether the action is manual or highly automated, The analysis of the data must be integrated with business operations, which can help make things better. Now, today, most of IoT devices operate in a silo. In near future, IoT devices will be able to connect with each other, share information through the cloud, and will be able to make autonomous decisions. Connected devices and autonomous decision-making will accelerate the transformation that is happening in the world today much more than what mobile brought to us. Now, to be successful, the IoT ecosystem needs to deal with challenges like security and privacy that will result from the massive collection of data from these sensors and devices. The society will need to make informed choices on how, when, and what information is collected and shared. So these are going to be challenges that, as a society, we need to deal with. We are going to be surrounded by more and more sensors that will be continuously collecting information. And it's going to be really interesting to see how we make this possible, at the same time benefit from the technologies that we are building. Now, in terms of market adoption, connected devices have already made an impact on verticals like manufacturing, industries, and transportation. And some other verticals are growing rapidly as well. Now, according to one study from IDC, the install base of IoT devices is expected to grow from 10 billion in 2014 to 30 billion by 2020. Imagine 30 billion connected devices in the world by 2020. With this kind of growth, we need to deal with the scale of data that we will be collecting and processing in real time. Now, how do you overcome the challenges associated with building IoT application and reaping the benefits of IoT? You need to have careful planning, smart operation, and efficient handling of data for you to be successful. For a successful IoT application, you need to put it together correctly. It requires integrated system design, security, and management built from the very beginning. You need to keep it running smoothly, meaning that you need to plan for ongoing development, deployment, and integration into existing systems, plus management of devices and data. You also need to harvest the reward efficiently. To extract business value from this IoT application, you will need to cost-effectively store, analyze, and make sense of the collected data from this large number of sensors and devices. Consumers and businesses want information that can improve their lives and their bottom line. Having the right technology partner who can help reduce the complexity is key to being successful with IoT. Now, Verizon ThingSpace is an end-to-end IoT ecosystem that helps our customers and developers to quickly reap in the benefits of IoT. Millions of IoT devices already operate on Verizon's network. We have worked side by side with our customers in Verizon Labs to help them build their connected devices and applications. And Verizon has launched its own complete end-to-end solutions for certain specific verticals like energy, healthcare, agtech, smart cities, and transportation. For energy, we have a solution called GridWide that helps utilities to monitor the meters that are in your home. For healthcare, we help drug companies to be able to reliably ship their drugs from the manufacturing all the way to the distribution points without it being adulterated. For agtech, we are helping farmers and farms to be able to make use of technology to reduce the use of water, pesticides, and increase their yield. For smart cities, we are essentially transforming every single light pole, which are not more than providing lights today, into something that can really sense its surroundings in addition to providing light, as well as help you to connect things together. On transportation, Verizon is hoping to be the #1 player. We have large solutions there. We have network fleet. We have Telogis. We just recently acquired Fleetmatics, which is going to help Verizon make a huge play in the telematics area. In addition to that, we have our consumer product called Hum that can help connect your mobile phone with your vehicle and provide you real-time information. ThingSpace platform enables the rapid development and deployment of IoT by simplifying and building and management of applications. Verizon has taken a holistic approach to IoT, and we are scaling the systems required to connect billions of devices. ThingSpace can help customers with selecting devices, provide connectivity, and help manage devices and apps through the services on the ThingSpace platform. Here is another way to think of this architecture. At the left, you have the devices, including the new CAT-M devices that can then connect to the ultra-reliable, most reliable network in the United States from Verizon on the 4G or the upcoming 5G network. And once the devices are onboarded into the ThingSpace platform, services like connectivity management, device management, reporting and analytics, and security and compliance will automatically be available to those devices. So these kind of device services on the platform help our customers and developers to quickly build their IoT solution and bring it to the marketplace in a standard way and benefit from the aspects of IoT. This is what we mean by IoT enablement. Now, in order to provide and build these services, Verizon Labs built our own real-time event processing pipeline. The event processing pipeline we built enables our customers and developers to ingest data from sources like devices, sensors, and cloud, and process them in real time at scale, and helps them to make informed actions with meaningful insights. Examples of this include from the usage side. For example, most of the IoT devices are like without human interfaces, meaning that you need an automated way by which you can detect if the devices are working normally or not, and you need to be able to know when an abnormal event happens, letting the customers or the end user know that something abnormal is associated with those devices so that they can take the automatic corrected actions. Or somebody dropped a package in front of your home, the camera on your home detects that and sends you a notification saying that, hey, the one you ordered from Amazon is on your door, so you may want to come home early to put it inside. Or a fisherman who just harvested oyster want to make sure their catch is delivered to the restaurant while being kept within the expected temperature range during the transport. All of those use cases are possible today and enabled by Verizon. By providing services needed for building IoT applications as part of the ThingSpace platform, we are accelerating the adoption of IoT and making it easier, faster, and more accessible for developers to benefit from the growth of the IoT ecosystem. Now, here's one view of what the streaming data flow looks like today in our product. So we have an incoming source of data that gets put into a queuing system. And from there, we process the stream of data that we are collecting. And then it gets batched into smaller pieces, which then it gets converted into processed data on which we take actions or make meaningful decisions. And those data then gets stored into a backend database system, either as both as raw events as well as aggregated events. And the users can either view the results set directly from the database, or if there is more computation that needs to be done, they can go back to the batch processing layer to perform the computation and get the results back. So this is something that we have at scale today, and we are running this system today for our next-gen platform on a kind of dynamic scale-out model on top of Mesos and Docker. So that's, if you're interested in this, please come to the breakout session, and we'll be able to show you a demo of what we built, as well as some of the numbers we can share. And we are able to scale this to about like 500,000 to 1 million events per second in our labs. So Verizon Labs had to solve challenges associated with building ThingSpace data pipeline, like real-time dashboards, analytics, alerts, notification, as well as being able to support 5 nines availability across multiple data centers. So in our system, there is no downtime. Either it be like a software upgrade, no maintenance windows, either be if we have to upgrade the data center, we still provide services to our customers without downtime. So in order to solve those challenges, we benefited from the capabilities and performance of Couchbase. It is a great match that helped us to build our real-time data pipeline while meeting our requirements. Specifically, Couchbase is easy to set up. It provides predictable performance, highly stable, with cross-data center replication, supporting active data centers. Couchbase support is world-class, and our collaboration with Couchbase product team helped us in making the right decisions while building our platform. Okay. So there is a breakout session this afternoon that will go into details of the challenges that we faced and how we solved them for ThingSpace and how we benefited from Couchbase. I'm looking forward to you in that breakout session. Finally, to conclude, I'm really excited to see what ideas you all have for IoT and how we can partner with you to make it live and a reality using Verizon solution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohan. Wow, what a story. And as the person sitting next to me just said, what a marketer's dream. To have a customer declare a product solving a problem like that is absolutely spot on. But the fact is, we asked these two speakers to come and speak today, not because they're the only two speakers that we could have asked, but because we particularly wanted to hear their stories. But we appreciate the partnership that we have with every single one of our customers. And the approach to problem solving is really about going after that big issue, the big elephant in the room, the thing that has been impossible to do by any other means. And I'm delighted to welcome our third and final speaker on stage this morning, Wayne Carter, our Chief Architect of Mobile, to talk about the way that we've partnered with a wide variety of organizations to solve these problems and how we've architected our underlying platform to support web, mobile, and IoT. Please give a big hand to Wayne Carter.
Thank you, Peter. Two great stories. I get really excited when I hear about transformations like that. We're observing a very rapid digitization of businesses within a massive digital economy, and Verizon and Amadeus just demonstrated just how much they're transforming their businesses digitally. It's truly impressive. So at this point, nearly every industry is being disrupted by the digital economy, and most businesses are participating in a really big way. So they're building mobile, web, and IoT applications to digitize their business processes, and their customer touch points. Travel, e-commerce, healthcare, entertainment, gaming, all digitizing. And so let's just drill down into one, the airline industry. They're making massive shifts in digitization within that industry. And leading the way are Emirates, Virgin, United, and a number of others. They're digitizing everything within their businesses and getting an increasing advantage over their competitors because of that. And what they're doing around the digitization of the customer experience is absolutely amazing. They're using digital displays throughout airports, driven by highly contextualized streams of data, delivering gate information, upgrade status, flight changes, standby information, destination weather, and more, precisely directed at an exact audience, at an exact location, and at an exact point in time. And these are all things we experience today. But let's think about that for a second. These airlines know, with a high degree of accuracy, where their specific customers are at specific points in time as they move through the travel experience. They know that most people will arrive at the airport 1 hour before their flight. And they know that they will be passing through specific points in the airport on their way to their gate at relatively precise points in time. And at the gate, 30 minutes before their flight, they know that 200 of their specific customers are standing at very specific location. And they're using all of this data to deliver a precise, highly contextual, highly personalized customer experience throughout their entire business. And they're doing much more than that. Back of the seat displays in premium cabins, with every seat assigned to a specific customer, they know exactly who is seating each seat and exactly which customer is looking at it, what digital display. And this is enabling them to touch their customers very specifically in a highly personalized way digitally. So, Wayne, would you like a pre-flight drink? We have a special whiskey we think you'd love. Everyone's raving about it. For overseas flights, when would you like your blanket brought to you? Would you like a wake-up call? Okay, great. What time would you like that? Would you like us to bring a coffee to you when we wake you up? We have a few bags of your favorite tea. Would you prefer that instead? Here are your favorite movies and some suggestions. Everything captured, queryable, searchable, and analyzable. Customized in-seat magazines, food precisely scheduled for each flight with specifics for individual, highly valued customers. The customer experience, digitized, driving rapid change within these industries, and driving massive revenue. So today, half the world's population is online. 62% of them are mobile. They span the entire planet. This consumer connectivity underpins the digital economy. It's a young $3 trillion ecosystem based on technology infrastructure, increasingly more powerful devices and interfaces, vast consumer networks, and an unlimited supply of data transforming our businesses. And mobile, web, and IoT are at the center of this connectivity. And so we're seeing an explosion of apps. Businesses are building more and more apps than ever before. In the early days of the digital transformation, businesses built one, maybe two, web, maybe mobile apps. They were typically for their customers. But now they're building more and more apps. They're building them for their customers. They're building them for their employees. They're building them for their partners. And these apps are deployed on more than just phones and web browsers. They're deployed on wearables. They're deployed on tablets. They're deployed on cars. They're deployed on appliances. They're deployed on machines of all types, generating and accessing massive amounts of data, delivering real-time personalized experiences, bringing data back into the company, driving intelligent, better decisions, and creating more efficient, more effective businesses. And the success of building these mobile web and IoT applications is highly dependent on integration with a back-end database. In fact, I have an interesting statistic I recently read. According to a 2016 study by Bach & Company, they're a notable mobile research group, 96% of enterprises consider easy integration with a back-end database critical for the success of building mobile web and IoT applications. So I think that makes sense. It's not just about managing data in the data center. Data spans the web. It spans our mobile devices. It spans IoT. So when you have to resolve the storage, access, transport, and security concerns of moving data to and from the cloud, you want a solution that makes that easy. You want a solution that's full stack, a solution that manages data across your entire application and network stack. It doesn't matter if it's a consumer app, it's a game, it's an app used by employees to do their job. They're all powered by data, and they all need to integrate with a back-end database. And entire industries are being transformed by these digital, data-driven trends. And full-stack management of all that data is a huge challenge. So how do you build that? And what are the technologies at Couchbase that can help? So there are three primary concerns when you're talking about full-stack data management. There's the functional concerns of data storage, access, and transport. There are the operational concerns of performance, scalability, and availability. And there are the security concerns of secure data storage and secure data transport and data access control. And these concerns exist throughout the entire application and network stack, and they're identical for mobile web and IoT. So as Ravi talked about yesterday, this is an application stack. It's evolved quite heavily over time, but this is what we see today. And the data management requirements have become increasingly important. They're critical now. You have the database, you have the middle tier, and you have the client. In between the database and the middle tier, you have the intranet. In between the middle tier and the client, you have the internet. And from a data management perspective, you need to resolve the concerns on the server, over the web, and on the client. So how does Couchbase fit in? So at the very bottom, the database tier, we have database server. So that's Couchbase server, resolves the functional, operational, and security concerns on the server side. And then you build your applications on top of that. This is what Verizon is doing. This is what Amadeus is doing. That's what many of you are doing. It has key value, query via nickel, global secondary index, filtered active-active cross-data center replication, full-text search, and now analytics. As you all know, it's very high performance, elastically scalable, always available with integrated HA and DR. Now for the other tiers. So the middle tier, we have Sync Gateway. Sync Gateway resolves the functional, operational, and security concerns of managing data over the web. And then you build your applications on top of that. Sync Gateway has configurable, secure REST stream batch APIs for securely reading and writing data directly over the web. It's stateless, scales out horizontally as your capacity demands increase and decrease over time, or even real time throughout the day. And it supports all of the key operational concerns like HA and DR at that layer. And users can build and configure CRUD and query services right inside of Sync Gateway to be used over the web. And then at the client tier, we have Couchbase Lite. Couchbase Lite resolves the functional, operational, and security concerns on the client and right on the device. And you build your applications on top of that. So Couchbase Lite is a complete embedded NoSQL database. It has full CRUD and query functionality, both online and offline. It has secure replication with the server, in addition to secure replication between Couchbase Lite instances using peer-to-peer replication. It has full database encryption for secure data storage on the device, and it can be used on all the modern mobile operating systems, including iOS, Android, and even beyond that, Windows, Linux, and many other operating systems. This is why GE, Emirates, United, BD, and a ton of other businesses are choosing Couchbase to manage their full stack data management needs for mobile. So There are 3 ways of developing apps, with Couchbase handling the functional, operational, and security concerns of data management throughout the stack. The database tier, the intranet, the middle tier, the intranet, the client, all fully managed. You choose how much you'd like for us to do, and then you build your apps on top of that. Whether you need data management in the cloud, you need it over the web, you need it on device, or everything above, we can do all that for you. So Couchbase is the single, easy-to-use, fully integrated data platform for mission-critical mobile, web, and IoT applications in the digital economy. And I can't wait to see what you guys build with this technology next.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you so much, Wayne. A very clearly articulated, very simple explanation of how we are able to support you. I'm sure when you came to this conference, you came with a bunch of things in your head around what you wanted to achieve over the time you spend with us. One of the things we wanted to achieve was to inspire you and to excite you about the possibilities of solving those problems in new ways, ways that you did not anticipate. And the best possible way that we can inspire you is to help you share your stories with one another. So I want to say a big thank you to all of our speakers, not only in this session, but throughout the conference. And I want to wish you an inspiring second half of your day. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Enjoy the rest of the session. Thank you.